for people who don't know, give us a brief idea what Monkey Music is, while I put up a few of these lovely people that have joined us early on today.
Monkey Music is a 5-stage musical curricula that I wrote over 30 years ago now for children from the age of newborn right the way through to when they start school. It's a 5-stage progressive curricula, and we work with the parents or the carers at class who accompany their children to our age-specific classes on a weekly basis. So we have, in the UK, we have 43 franchise areas, we call them territories, owned by around 40 franchisees. A couple of our franchisees are multi-territory franchisees. And we are mainly, the business started in London back in 1993. So London is the place, I think everybody in London with a little one probably has heard about Monkey Music or got some connection with Monkey Music through their family or friends. And we grew initially organically from London across the UK. So we are very fairly densely represented in the southeast of the UK and the southwest, and we move up the north. We've got then a bit of a gap in the north, unfortunately, that I'd love to share the joy of Monkey Music with. And then we are in Scotland as well. So a spread. Over the years, we've grown mainly organically, although more recently we've been putting together a strategy to be a little bit more proactive with our marketing.
Let's get to the story. Let's get to the main part. I'd like to put you in a time machine now and send you back in time, right to the inspiration and when you came up with the idea of Monkey Music. So where and when did it all start for you?
So I was living in London just over 30 years ago now. I had trained as a classical musician at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama and was trying to make my merry way as a musician. I was an oboist. Well, I am an oboist, but I wouldn't say that in professional terms anymore, but I trained as an oboist, trained as a pianist, and I was living in London, enjoying an early career performing with some of the London orchestras and trying to make a living as a musician. In those days, the term was as a freelance musician. I mean, most musicians, they still are actually, but were self-employed in those days. So I was having a whale of a time. It was a challenge because the work as a musician is often sporadic. But I was enjoying the challenge of being a musician and filling in the time that I wasn't working with some teaching at a London school, and enjoying that immensely, especially the younger children that I taught, the preschool children in the nursery. Now, I then got married quite young, and I fell pregnant with my first child, and I realised I had a bit of a juggling act on my hands. How was I going to do all of that and be a mum? And I wanted to be the kind of mum who was around my little one. I didn't want to be trying to do what a lot of my colleagues and friends were doing as musicians, which is meeting family members on motorway service stations and handing over children for the evening while they headed up to Hull to perform with Shirley Bassey or whoever it was. I wanted to be there, and I wanted to make sure that my life was how I wanted it to be on a more regular basis for her. So while I was trying to figure out how to do that, I also decided that I was really enjoying the teaching side of my music, and started to try out some of my own ideas with the children in the nursery school that I was working in, and realised that actually I absolutely adored bringing music alive for very young children, seeing how they responded to music, seeing how music supported their natural development with the language skills they were developing and all of that. So I decided that there was a bit of a gap in the market. I'd looked for music classes locally to go to with my own little baby. There weren't any. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to do something about this, and it might just be an opportunity to shake things up a little bit in my own life and do something different now that I'm a mum and I want to do something for my family.
Simon's put, what skills and experience do franchisees need to succeed in your franchise? Do they need to be able to play a musical instrument, or is it more about their communication and how they can communicate things with children and help children enjoy music?
So we have non-teaching and teaching franchisees. So you do not have to be a franchise owner at Monkey Music and teach our classes. In fact, I would say the non-teaching franchisees are probably the ones that grow more quickly, because they have the time, and they are often from business backgrounds themselves, and they have also operational backgrounds. They come into the business as business owners. They see an opportunity to grow a previous existing franchise area or a new area, and they will create a business plan that allows them to grow their business pretty quickly. If we have franchisees who join us who are teaching franchisees, like I was to start with, those franchisees are supported by us in a slightly different way. The growth of their business tends to not be so quick, but it tends to be a little bit deeper. And the connection with their customers tends to be a little bit more immediate, which also has its pros and cons, isn't it, which way around you do it. But certainly I think it's changed from the early days, where I used to bring, bearing in mind I was from a musical background, most of my friends and colleagues were musicians or actresses. I brought a lot of people with me in the early part of my journey from those sorts of backgrounds, creative backgrounds. A lot of those people are still with us. They now have learned how to run a business in the same way that I have. But I would say now, over the last 4 or 5 years, we're attracting people with more operational backgrounds, more business type of backgrounds that are a little bit more dynamic with their way they want to grow their business. So it's a bit of both. For me, it's all about people wanting to grow, wanting to succeed, and wanting to do what we do in their local community, and that drive and ambition.